Hi, let's learn Disney Jungle Cruise Adventure Game, a 2 to 4 player game designed by Prospero Hall, published by Ravensburger. The goal of the game is to be the player with the highest score. To do that, race down the river to deliver passengers and cargo to the company headquarters. You'll be paid for each one you deliver, but you'll receive greater rewards for being the first to arrive, carrying different types of cargo, and delivering members of Alberta's selected family. You see, one of the 4 families you are transporting to headquarters has been selected by Alberta Falls as the caretakers of the Jungle Navigation Company. Alberta has traveled along these rivers and through these jungles thousands of times, so you may run across some clues as to which family she's chosen and which ones she hasn't. You'll want to bring as many members of that chosen family to headquarters. To set up, unfold the game board and place it in the play area. Mix the lost and found tokens and place them face down in a pile beside the game board. Mix the 4 clue tokens and place one face down on each clue space and headquarters. Separate the outpost tokens by cargo type. Place one of each type face down at each outpost so that each outpost has 3 tokens. Place the 5 tip tokens face up at headquarters. Next, shuffle the navigation deck and place that face down by the game board. Next, each player chooses a color and takes the boat mover and boat placard of that color, as well as the matching passenger tokens for that boat placard. Let's set up a 3-player game. Any unused components are returned to the box. Place your passengers face up on your boat placard, arranging them however you like. Note that there are 4 sections of 3 spaces: port, starboard, center, stern. Each space can only hold 1 passenger or cargo token. Next, each player gets 1 warning flare and 1 skipper specialty card. For your first game, hand out the skipper cards randomly. In the future, choose your own by starting with the youngest player, then moving clockwise. Place them face up by your boat placard. All players put your boat movers on the starting dock. The player who last told a joke goes first. Each player's turn consists of optionally rearranging their load, rolling for speed, navigating the river, and encounters in the jungle. At the start of your turn, you have the option to rearrange your load, and that's as simple as it sounds. Move tokens into different positions on your boat placard. Just remember that only 1 token can take up 1 space. Otherwise, rearrange them however you want. Just as a tip, the center of the boat is just a little bit safer than the other sections. When you're satisfied with that, you will roll for speed. Roll the speed die and move the amount of spaces indicated on the die. If you reach a fork in the road, you choose which way to go. Shorter paths can get you to headquarters faster, but you may miss out on some clues. There are 4 types of spaces players will land on: a regular space, an outpost, a clue space, and headquarters, all of which I will explain in a bit. After having moved and resolving what was required by the type of space you landed on, you will then do the Navigate the River action. What this is revealing 4 navigation cards, reading the jokes out loud, and encountering the amount that was rolled on the die, choosing yourself which ones to avoid. So if you rolled a 3, you'll choose which 3 to encounter and which one to avoid. Or if you rolled a 4, you must encounter all 4. Which leads us directly into the Encounters in the Jungle phase. To start, let's go over the cards. Each card has a title, danger rating on a scale of low 1 to high 3, notes, which is the joke to be read aloud, and a graphic indicating which section of the boat is affected. When you have chosen which cards to encounter, You will choose which order you wish to resolve them in, but first, if you drew any special navigation cards, the ones oriented horizontally, they must be resolved before the other ones and then placed in the discard pile. You may choose the order in which they are encountered before resolving the remaining cards if necessary. Rolling peril dice equal to the danger rating. 1 die per X on the danger rating. If it's not dangerous at all, it has no X, roll no dice. For each exclamation mark you roll, you must discard 1 cargo or passenger from that corresponding section of the boat. If you roll more exclamations than passengers and cargo you have in that section, simply ignore the extra ones. If you had to discard any cargo, it is lost in the jungle, so place it back in the game box. Lost passengers, however, are placed face up by the game board. These are referred to as lost passengers. If you have a roll you are particularly disappointed with, it is possible to re-roll the dice once using your own warning flare. To do so, flip over the warning flare to its reload at outpost side and re-roll the dice showing the exclamation symbol. Once the flare is used and 1 re-roll has happened, the flare is spent. The only way to reload it is to reach an outpost. After resolving the navigation cards, place them face up in a discard pile. After completing the 4 phases, it's the next player's turn, which is the next player clockwise from the one who just had their turn, and continues this way until the game ends. So now let's get into more detail about the movement phase of a player's turn. Your load has been rearranged, and you've rolled for speed. So then, you move the amount of spaces indicated. If you end your movement on a regular space, you may pick up a lost and found token, but only if your boat placard has space for it. If you have the space, and the lost and found token shows cargo, you may put it on an empty space on your boat placard. If it shows found passenger, discard the token, then choose a lost passenger to place on your boat placard. If there are no lost passengers, then none are added. When you reach an outpost location, you must stop regardless of what the die says. After stopping, first encounter navigation cards. Second, if you've used your warning flare, you may automatically reload it by flipping over the flare token. Third, and finally, if you have an empty space on your boat placard, you may either take a cargo of your choice or a lost passenger, and put whichever one you choose on your boat placard. If you stop on a clue space, another space you must stop on, look at the clue, keeping it hidden from other players, then set it back face down. These tokens will not be picked up. When you look at a clue card, it will show you one of the families that is not selected, with the one that is chosen at headquarters. So keep an eye on who other players are favoring to help deduce which family it may be. When you stop at headquarters, take 1 tip of your choice and you will no longer move your boat mover. When it comes back to your turn, take another tip as your turn. Any other boats that may arrive will take a tip the same way. Once all tips are gone, the game is over. The other boats are teleported to the headquarters. The clue token at headquarters is flipped over to reveal which family was chosen to be the caretakers. To count your score, each family token on your boat that was revealed to be the caretaker family is worth 5 points. As long as they are related to the caretakers, they are worth 5 points. Each other passenger is worth 3 points. Each set of 3 different types of cargo is worth 10 points. Each set of 2 different types of cargo is worth 4 points. Each cargo not a part of a set is worth 1 point. And each tip is worth the value shown on the token between 1 to 3 points. The player with the most points is the winner. And if there's a tie, the tied player with the most passengers is the winner. Thank you for joining me on how to play Disney Jungle Cruise adventure game. I invite you to join me next time as I do a playthrough.